Next. Well, Mick,
What's happening?
what's the crack?
All good, all good. To be honest, I forgot all about it.
I had a feeling that was the case.
I forgot all about it because I'm putting the wee man on the bed, but he'll sit beside me. He'll be all right.
He's keeping you busy.
What is it? Wait there, 1
Is he
second.
keeping you busy during all this?
Let me see what's better.
You're there? You're there, yeah?
I'm back now. That's I think.
Good man. Cheers, Mick. You're all right. He's
Yeah.
keeping you busy, is he?
No.
The Baba's keeping you busy.
What? Always. They're always keeping me busy.
Good stuff, good stuff. What have you been up to, I suppose, since all this has started?
Just trading away. I've been working away. You know, I have a gym in the garage and stuff. So I have been able to take over. And then I've been just doing a little bit of baking as well. So
I heard that
spending time with the
cheesecake.
family. I've been doing everything. Banana bread's kind of my best thing, if I'm honest.
Okay, so Conlon cheesecake now is the new thing to the market, I hear.
That's it. It is the banana bread, not the cheesecake. The banana bread.
I suppose just before we go into the boxing, Michael, thanks very much for joining us tonight. I know between training and everything else that you're doing, you're even in lockdown, you're still a busy man. So we do appreciate you coming on.
No problem at all. Listen, EJ's has always been good to me. So I'm happy to come on and do this for you. There's no problem at all.
Good stuff, good stuff. So just before we start, you can hear me all right, Michael, you can?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me now, yeah? Good stuff. Good stuff. So just to take it back to where it all began, Michael, I read somewhere, what age were you when you won your first novice title? You were only a child, were you?
Well, the age you have to be is like born, whatever the year is. You know, you can be born at the start of the year or the end of the year, but that's the year you're born. So I was 10 when I competed. I was turning 11. You have to be kind of 11, but if you're born in that year, you'll be all right. So it was like November or October, and I boxing was still 10. So that was my first kind of proper show, and I got the job on there.
And was there ever a case, I suppose, growing up, was there any other sports that were ever going to take over Michael Conlon, or was it boxing from the day you were born? Or
Nah, listen, I done every sport there was under the sun. I was always involved in sport, and the only reason it was boxing was because my brothers done it, and I wanted to be like them. And I think if I had been, involved in any other sport, I probably would have been successful. I was kind of good at whatever I put my mind to. So when I kind of focused on boxing, that was it.
Okay, and I suppose for a young boxer, probably no better place to grow up than Belfast. It has such a massive reputation for boxing.
Cut off her. Fuck me.
Can you hear me now?
I can't even. I can hear you now.
The Wi-Fi's
cut off her. My Wi-Fi is terrible.
You can hear me now?
I'm on this Sky Wi-Fi, and Sky
You're
Wi-Fi
right.
is shite.
Get on to them and tell them you want a discount on the bill.
I know.
I was just saying for a young lad, I suppose, growing up, Belfast that has an interest in boxing. Belfast is probably the place to grow up. It has a massive reputation for boxing.
Oh, definitely. Listen, it's on my road alone, like within a 2-mile radius, I think there's like 12, 15 clubs or something like that. So there's loads of clubs and there's loads of competition from no way. It is hard, the reason I have so many fights, because there's just so many clubs, all the in club fighting and stuff, and all different, just going to different gyms and stuff and having spars is brilliant.
Okay, and I suppose not to go too serious on it, but why do you think that maybe boxing as a sport has been, it's been able to unite Belfast through everything that's gone on? Maybe where other sports has kind of maybe failed, but boxing, I suppose, has brought people together up there, and nobody knows that more than yourself. Why do you think boxing has been so successful with it?
I think the fact that it's just a working class sport, and it's kind of a working class city, isn't it, Belfast? So
Yeah,
I'm a proud working class boy, and it kind of brings everybody together because it doesn't matter where you're from or what your religion is. You understand how hard it is to kind of come from these areas and get out of these
yeah.
areas, and if people can do that, um, through sport, boxing does it the best, I think.
Okay. I suppose as an amateur, Mick, you had a glittering career. You done it all, and I suppose I'm not going to ask you about the Olympics and the kind of the misjustice that happened to you. You've spoken about it a million times, and you're probably sick talking about it. But fast forward to maybe just after that, the profile that you got after that kind of scandal and that, are you able to kind of look back on it now with a little bit less resentment because you've gone on to such great
Hundred
things since
percent,
then?
100%. It was the best thing that ever happened. Probably
Well,
better than win. Probably better than winning the gold medal because simple fact is many of the gold medalists and other Olympic medalists who medaled in Rio have
yeah,
boxed in my undercards. I haven't boxed in
yeah,
anybody else's undercard except world champions. So, I think that says an awful lot in terms of profile, in terms of how my career has been gauged already. So, I'm grateful for what happened. Whatever happened,
okay,
happened. Would I go back? Would I take a gold medal if I had go back now? 100% because it was my dream. Sometimes I say no because this may not be the same position, but so be it. It kind of flicks and changes all the time. But I'm happy with what I've done, and if there was any better way to lose, that was the best way to
yeah.
lose.
I suppose after that, you went pro, and I suppose on the back of that kind of the publicity and the controversy of it, if we go forward to your first pro fight in Madison Square,
Yeah.
what do you remember the day and the build up to it? I know Eamon was at it, EJ himself was at it. I think he's still recovering from it. So,
Yeah.
but what do you remember of it yourself?
It was crazy. It was crazy, proper crazy. I remember the morning of it. Like people who have pro debuts don't have like big, massive pro debuts. It's not. There's no glitz and glam. Even most
In Madison
successful
Square of all
amateurs,
places.
and they're never really headlining cards or anything. And debuts, even the most successful amateurs don't really do that. So the fact that I was doing it, and then the kind of hyperbole and the media around it all was crazy. The morning of the weigh-in, I was going to do Good Morning New York. And your man, I don't know his name. I was actually speaking about this today in an interview. The guy at ex Benny Blanco from the Bronx in Carlito's Way.
Yeah,
He was there as well. So I was like, this is crazy. Like,
surreal.
what's going on? You know what I mean? Um, so it was mental. And then the day of the fight, it was just like non-stop, non-stop, just craziness. It seemed I was trying to be chill, but it was just
You there on me, Mick? The old signal is letting you down again. I think you're back. Now 2 seconds, we'll get Mick back. The signal is just kind of
that's
coming
me
and going.
back.
You're there.
Know what
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is? As I see people, what phone do you have? I have a fucking good phone, and I'm with that. I have the internet. The fact is, it's Sky
Your,
Internet. It's just
your picture
Sky
has got
Wi-Fi.
better
It's
there, actually,
terrible.
Mick.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
your picture's got better. I've a question that was actually sent to me today by Gavin Sweeney. He wanted to know how the McGregor came about, walking you to the ring and that.
Um, I was. He was doing a talk in Belfast in the December before, and I was invited up on the stage with him to talk away. I had a few drinks, man. I just went, listen, are you walking me out my debut or not? In front of like a few thousand people, and he had no other choice but to say yes.
It must have been some experience.
Crazy, crazy stuff. But it was brilliant. Like,
I seen something McGregor said to you in a clip I was looking at today, and it says, with the atmosphere on the night was feed into it, but don't feed into it too much.
mm,
From Can you explain to maybe people that are watching and myself, like, for at that level, you're in your dressing room, you're walking out, and you get to Madison Square, you get to just where you meet the crowd. What's going through your head and what's going through your stomach for the first time, especially? Does it pass you by? And how do you use the momentum, I suppose, and the adrenaline in a positive way as opposed to it maybe taking over from you and making you too nervous that you could perform?
Like every time, no matter what it is, like every time I'd be shitting myself before I go out there. 100%. People who say they're not is lying. Your nerves be like on point. But fuck me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now again, yeah.
Can you hear me? Oh,
I can hear you now. Try the 4G if the Wi-Fi's letting you down. That's what I do with mine.
this is
Might help you.
terrible.
That's okay. We'll get you back. You say,
So where did you hear me from? Or
say that again?
where did they get to? Where did they get
I
to before
was
it
just saying
froze?
about maybe like when you walk out of your dressing room, you're walking towards the arena. What are you feeling? How do you
So
describe the
I,
emotions that you're going through?
I was proper nervous, and then as soon as I seen the crowd, I'm not lying. It was just like I'm at home. I'm at home. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like there was no problem. I felt like that was it. You know, I wasn't afraid. There, I'm not afraid. No, I wasn't nervous no more.
Yeah.
But as soon as I kind of got to the ring, I was like, nah, I need to get this fucking job done. I need to take this guy out. So I kind of rushed the whole fight. I'm rushed what I done. When I look back now, I can't say it's a wonderful thing, but when I look back now and I think about it, like I could have got that guy out much cleaner and much better, but I was just trying to take his head off because there was a crowd baying for blood.
It's the result that matters.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? As long as I got it done.
Do you have a preference, Mick? I've seen your walkout. So you fought in Belfast, and you see the fights in New York. When you fight in New York, it's basically like being in Ireland because the support that you bring with you is just absolutely crazy, and it's a credit to you. And it's unreal. But do you prefer maybe fighting at home, or do you maybe prefer fighting away in the States and bringing the crowd with you, or have you a preference at all?
I don't really have a preference. I love New York. New York's amazing. Like I'm so proud to be an Irishman representing our country in New York all the
Yeah.
time. With the Irish history in New York, it's unbelievable. But then fighting in the Falls Park in Belfast, in my home city, is also going to be very, very hard to beat. It's a toss up. I don't know. I love both.
Is there an added pressure fighting at home?
Nah,
No.
nah. Listen, I don't think there's anything that adds to any more pressure. I have enough pressure on my shoulders, I believe. So, it's fighting at home, fighting away. It's just the same. You know, just getting the win is the most important thing, and the pressure of losing is the worst thing, I think.
Okay. So let's say in a dream world, we've heard maybe the last few weeks about maybe Dana White trying to set up UFC fights on a private island.
Yeah.
Obviously, there'd be no crowd involved. If that offer was, let's say, made to you for boxing, a big event, obviously with all that's going on a private island, behind closed doors sort of thing, would you still get the same buzz out of fighting with no? I know you would have done it growing up in that, but with what you've experienced now, would it still be the same thing for you?
Listen, it's never going to be the same, I don't think. In terms of fans and boxing, just because, well, not for a long time.
Yeah, okay.
But no, you wouldn't get the same kind of buzz from it. But at the end of the day, you still need to fucking fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You still need to pay bills, and you still need to get paid. So, like, you don't really boxers don't have any other income than boxing unless you set up some kind of fucking business or something. But not many do. So you got to be fighting to get paid. So it doesn't matter. I'll fight behind closed doors. I'll fight next week if I have to.
Okay.
In an ideal world, I would love to box in the field again this year. It doesn't look likely because of the fans kind of not going to be here, and the field has to have the fans because it's outdoor.
Yeah.
But that would be fantastic. I know that, you know, there's possibilities of it being moved back to like August or September. So, you know, if it was possible to happen, I'm praying to the gods to make it happen.
I was actually due to go to the fight in Madison Square on Paddy's Day. I was going over to New York for me 30th. We were going over for the week, so we missed that one, unfortunately, but I'll go over again.
I have to. Here, I want to give a shout out to this Mitchell Bill 8. I tell you what, his jokes and slogans here have been fantastic. So
yeah, absolutely.
Fair play to him. I don't know who it is, but fair play. It's brilliant.
Is he giving
I'm
you a bit of
loving it.
slagging?
I'm loving it. He's giving me slagging the whole time, but I'm loving it. I enjoy a bit of banter, so don't
You
worry
have
about
to have
it.
it, don't you? You have to be able to take it.
100%. 100%.
um, looking at you says, boxers, Mick, you have to fight to pay the bills. Do you think there's a
Yeah.
bit more pressure on, let's say, boxers than there is on other sportsmen? Because you hear in, let's say, football, you're only as good as your last game, but at times it mightn't be true. You might have a footballer comes on, scores a couple of goals, maybe it's a great start to a season, or because of his reputation, sometimes rides it out for a year or two without
Yeah.
performing at his peak. You lose a fight, you lose two fights. In the boxing world, one or two
Snakes and
bad
ladders.
performances, it's a
Boxing,
different
snakes
story.
and ladders. That's how I explain it. Boxing, snakes and ladders, you
Okay.
can build your way the whole way up, but if you lose, it's like hitting the snake and going right back to the start again.
Okay.
That's how I kind of put it. Unless you're kind of already been a world champion, you've been there where, you get another shot right away, kind of, or a possibility of a shot, very close. But, if you're on your way up and you lose, you're right back to the start, and that's just the way
Okay.
it is.
Okay. I think probably to go a little bit more serious on it, Mick, it would have been shame to have you on tonight and maybe talk about. I think you deserve massive credit. You've used your profile well in the last couple of years regarding mental health. You've campaigned for extra resources
Yeah.
around that issue in the last few years. Have you seen anything maybe progress-wise, or is it a case of maybe a lot done, a lot more to do, or where do you see it's at?
Well, I've done a lot this year, but it's kind of came to a standstill because of the virus and stuff.
Okay.
And it's probably a time when it shouldn't, because it should be more of a priority, because
Yeah.
people being stuck at home, people being locked down, and not knowing where the money is coming from or anything like that there, because they're not able to work. That puts an awful lot of pressure on people. That puts a lot of people
Absolutely.
in dark places, and I think our mental health at this current stage of this year and this virus is very, very important. Um, the way I'm kind of coping with my own mental health and stuff, I'm lucky enough to have my family around me and able to train. But just try to be out in the fresh air as much as possible. Try to be doing as much exercise as possible, because it's a bit crazy. It's crazy times, and people being locked down it can be a bit dark for people.
Of course. Would you have any advice for maybe anyone that is, I suppose? First of all, I actually think that coming from a boxer, I heard you speak, I think it's about a month or so, or 2 months ago on the Tommy Tiernan show, and I think one thing that really rallies home is that when it's someone like you that maybe young men look up to, and especially when you go into a ring to fight for a living, there's something very strong that hits home when you're telling people that it's okay maybe to talk. I think it really hits home a lot more when it comes from you than it does come from other people. I think you have to be given credit for what you've done so far. So,
I appreciate it. I appreciate
no,
that.
no hassle. Does Michael Conlon have any? Does Michael Conlon have any advice for, let's say, anybody out there, not necessarily male, female, across the board, that may have issues at this time, because it is easy to be maybe extra isolated with all that's going on?
Yeah. Listen, just try to be in contact with people as much as possible, whether it's FaceTime, whether it's, if you're speaking to your neighbour over a fence, whatever it is, speak to people, be in contact with other human beings, because, it's very, very important for us to be in contact with people and talk to people. It's how human beings grow and evolve everything. So just try to be in contact with people, be out in fresh air, and get as much exercise as you can, because take up, even if it means taking up things you don't do, whether it's
Yeah,
running, walking, whatever, just do it. Get involved, try new things, and
yeah,
I think that'll keep your mind occupied.
absolutely. I don't know if you heard, there's actually a lad from Sligo who suffered with his own mental health, and he's come up with an app, Mind Clinic, and I think what it is it's a free service that when you sign up, you'll be referred into a mental health specialist. Do you think that maybe technology has a role to play in maybe helping people more than it is?
Definitely. But the thing is, I think we use technology a bit too much nowadays.
Okay.
There's less human contact. There's less, personal conversations. Everything is
Yeah.
over the phone, and
Yeah.
people are reading social media, and I actually decided last week I was meant to come on. We were meant to come on this
Yeah, I
last week,
remember
and I
chatting to you,
decided
yeah.
I needed to kind of get off, because I was on too much. I was doing 10 plus hours a day on my phone, I'm not actually doing nothing. I'm sitting scrolling, which
Yeah.
is dumb.
And how do you feel
Um,
that you've done it after?
I felt great, to be
Yeah.
honest. It cleared my head. It, you think you don't think it affects you, but you're seeing things, and you might not take them in. It might not
Yeah.
affect you. You know your consciousness, but your subconscious it'll affect. You see people talking shit, and you go, "Fuck, why?" You start reading into why is he doing that? Why is he saying this? You know, it can affect people a lot, and then people seeing other people living lavish lifestyles,
Yeah.
it affects people. I know what
Of
that because
course.
I've done a lot of we've been doing a lot of research on
Yeah.
mental health stuff and stuff, and you know, young kids seeing other kids running about wearing Gucci or all this here, and they're going, "Fuck me, where's she getting the money for that?" You
I
know what I mean?
know.
It does affect people, like so. I think try just to be in contact with humans instead of being in contact with your phone. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Even if you're in contact with you through like FaceTime and all, that's brilliant. No, that's a good part of our phones and technology is having those kind of resources where you can just FaceTime someone
Yeah.
and be in contact. Because 10 years ago we weren't able to do that. So, you know, that's a good side of it. Like if I'm honest.
I do think it is great the fact that you do speak up about these things because I know kind of from maybe chatting to parents, and they're talking about their kids and they see a lot these days. Like when I was growing up, you looked up to a footballer. Some people looked up to a musician. You looked up to those sort of people with profile. Whereas I think now a lot of the younger people are looking up to bloggers and let's say influencers maybe in the wrong way. And I suppose maybe we just need to get back to basics on that.
Ah, definitely. Like people you see nowadays, most people want to grow up to be an influencer.
Yeah,
They're
it's
looking to
crazy.
fucking what is it? Yeah, you need to find the easiest way to make a bit of money or something. Is that what it
Yeah.
is? I don't know. Just kind of do what you got to do and live your life the way you want to live it, not the way other people should perceive it. Don't worry about other people's thoughts, really.
Just I have a few questions that came in. We've been doing this the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I haven't seen such an influx of questions for anybody since we started it. Just before we go on to them, is there when Michael Conlon retires? Obviously, a long, long way away. But is there a role for Michael Conlon in politics? Do you think?
1 hour 20. 1 second. One hour
You're only
20. Go ahead.
Do you think is there a role for maybe Michael Conlon in politics or at a senior role down the road when he retires? Of course, it's a long way away yet, but I have heard people mention it.
Listen, you never know. You
You
never
never
know.
know.
You never know. There's always there's always opportunities around there. You never know what you want to do. I know I like to help people.
Yeah,
Whether it's in sport, whether it's just in life. I'm a people person, so you know
yeah,
that's something I want to be involved in.
good stuff.
Helping people.
I suppose just we won't keep you online, Mick, but I'll hit you with a couple of the questions that came in. Again, we had a serious amount of questions that come in, so we'll try to categorize them during the day to what were the most popular ones. I know one particular lad, Kieran Brannigan. He's actually from Belfast as well, and he's a boxer as well. I looked it up his profile, and he seems to be mad into it. So he wanted to know if any advice maybe for people looking to go pro.
Um, Stay amateur as long as you can. Stay amateur as long as you can. Get that experience.
Okay.
And try to get a big kind of profile. As you know, a lot of these guys who turn pro are not actually making money.
Okay.
So you know you need to think about it. Everybody sees everybody going pro now, and especially in the local scene in Ireland, not all of them are making good money.
Of course.
Some of them are making pennies. You know, not even making pounds. So
Yeah.
you know
There's Karen
it's
there. He's after coming on.
yeah,
Say hello.
yeah, it's something that can't hurt you going. It's something you need to think about
Yeah, 100%.
because it's not something that you need to take lightly. It's something that is very important. It's going to be the biggest decision of your sporting career if you're a boxer, and you know it's all about timing really. So you need to pick the right time.
Okay. Toughest opponent.
Um, as an amateur, as a professional,
We'll go over across the board, whatever you want. Go for one of each, maybe. Or
um, I don't even know as a professional. I don't think I've been tested.
okay.
If I'm honest. So
Well, who would you maybe like to face as a pro? Where do you, if you were granted the pick tomorrow, Michael Conlon picks who he wants to fight tomorrow. Who would you pick?
Lomachenko would be the best test.
Okay.
I'm not saying I beat him around
Yeah.
because he's one of my favorite fighters, but
Yeah, of course.
he's someone who I would love to get in there and test myself against. And you never know. You know what I
So
mean? Possibly
Lomachenko in Belfast will be the dream.
100%. 100%.
Um,
And the amateurs I would probably say Robbie C. Ramirez, who beat me in the 2012 Olympics. He won
okay.
he won 2012 and he won 2016.
Okay. That's fair. Boxing idol.
Um, Hard one. Of all time, I always change. I never have anything like stuck. If I'm honest. Roberto Duran is probably one of my favorites of all time. But you know what? Actually, I'm going to say Manny Pacquiao because I grew
Okay,
up
yeah.
watching Pacquiao and I loved him always.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
And one of my dreams came true. But my third fight, I boxed on his undercard in Australia, so that was unreal.
Happy days. You fought them all. The greatest fight you've watched? Maybe I suppose I put that to maybe as a young fella growing up because I
Nah, the
remember
best
that
fight.
sport moment.
I'll say the best fight I've watched, probably of all time, would be Gatti Ward, one, just
Okay,
because how like much of a war it was. But the best fight I've watched live would be Lomachenko versus Linares.
okay.
Just the high level ability, quality, everything in it. The technical ability was just unbelievable. Like watching Lomachenko go against Linares, his movements and everything he was doing was just like you get tired from watching everything he was doing.
Yeah, we had it.
I was there. I boxed on the undercard.
Where was that?
New York in
New
the
York,
garden.
in the gardens.
Uh,
Unreal, unreal. Finally, Michael, the first thing that you're going to do when all this is over.
I
Over a
can't go and
pint.
say I can't say I'm gonna have a pint because I'm not. I'm not. First thing I'm gonna do is probably have to get a fucking flight to London to get back in the training camp.
Okay, you're training in Surrey at the minute, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael, I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight. We really,
Good
really
man.
appreciate it. That comes from the top, the boss man. He talks very fondly of you ever since the time you were down in the shop, and
Brilliant.
there's a lot of time for you in EJ Menswear. Hopefully we'll see you down there sometime soon.
Good stuff. Brilliant. Listen, thank you for coming on. I'll like, tell EJ I'm looking forward to coming and seeing him again.
I will, of course,
Um,
Mick.
and yes, I'll speak to you soon, definitely, mate.
Thanks very much, Michael.
Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.